Wonderful people of the world, welcome back to Crypto Catch Up for 2019. What we're first going to talk about is utility tokens. And what about utility tokens, you may ask? Well, simply the fact that they are uselessly redundant. So let's get into it. Alright, so for you, I guess, out there that may be brand new to this space, what's a utility token? Well, essentially, it's a token that's built on a platform such as Ethereum, Tron, or otherwise, maybe EOS, maybe NEO, that aims to add value within a particular ecosystem. Now, listen to my wording there, aims, because a lot of the time it doesn't. And the reason for this is that utility tokens were actually created to skirt regulation, to make sure that their particular token or fundraising effort wasn't to be found as a security. Of course, by doing so, it's also very beneficial to the project. Because they have no legal, regulation, or ramification, they're essentially raising money from you to do whatever the fuck they want. And then, of course, not deliver on anything. Now, I'm sure they have very good morals and are upstanding people with great experience in technology and, of course, business acumen. But that doesn't seem to be the case. Now, this utility token concept came, I guess, as a byproduct of the ICO craze back in 2017-2018. It was found as a clever way to raise money, but also obviously to protect their backsides as they opened up companies out of Switzerland but sold tokens to the US, Chinese or otherwise citizens. The fact of the matter is though, like I've said, is that they're actually redundant. They're near useless. 99.9% of them are useless. And there's reasons for that. And for that 0.01%, those will most likely not even survive. And that's just because that's the way business is. It's a dog-eat-dog world. So let's go through why that is the case. Well, utility tokens are meant to have some form of intrinsic value to be used within a platform. And so because of that, anybody that's writing white papers have been reverse engineering. They go, oh, this is what we want to build, a agricultural platform that tracks the provenance of grain, but we need a token even though we're building it on Ethereum. Now, for those of you who don't know, Ethereum is the actual platform, but they have a native currency called Ether. Now, Ether is used to pay for the gas or any computation within the Ethereum platform. There is absolutely no need to have another token on top of it. If anything, it actually creates more friction. Now, that could be argued otherwise. Of course, if you build a great platform, a great token economy, whereby the user interface of your dApp, such as a game, is very slick and it's very easy to transfer between Ether and your native token and back again, you may be able to get away with it. But let me give you another idea of what the fuck a utility token is. It's like going to a casino or a local school fete and having to buy fucking paper tickets. You walk in, you buy your paper tickets and you convert your fiat currency. Now for you, living in a terrible country where the government is oppressive, maybe that works for you. But for me here in Australia, that doesn't work for me. I would prefer to have the Australian dollar than have my funds locked up in a token with no value. The reason it has no value is because not only are a lot of these platforms low user bases, even when they expand and grow globally, the fact of the matter is, people aren't going to be walking from shop to shop to shop, buying token to token to token to be able to use the different platform. If I'm buying food, a pair of pants, and then a motor car, I'm not going to go and change it for pant token, food token, motor car token. It's an absurd idea. And I actually asked John McAfee this once upon a time, so let's go check that out. Well, let's scroll back to where he starts talking here in Australia where, you know, projects come out, they've got an idea, they really just need fundraising, but they're not being transparent. So with the amount of cryptocurrencies, with the amount of dApps and the rest of it that are coming out that are having their own token, what's your take on that? Because I know, you know, if I was to say a particular token and I was on video with John McAfee, that it'd go straight through the roof and I'd have to get a new building here, so we won't do that. But what do you think about the ecosystem at the moment?
The question is, does it matter?
Let me stop you there, John. I think it does matter, because as an individual or anybody out there that may be wanting to, I guess, buy into that particular platform, a utility token is actually being sold as something that's going to be able to be utilized or they're owning a share of, when in fact it's not the case. Now, of course, it doesn't take you long to realize that in fact, you're not actually getting any legal ramification or recourse within that purchase. You own no shares of the company, no equity or otherwise. So it does matter, John, because no one has any say in what the fuck's going on. It means that you are literally pouring your money into untrusted, unknown entities because they came up with a fancy slogan and a pretty website. It matters because you are rich and you don't care because you profit off these individuals. It matters because people are speculating purely on these tokens in secondary markets to go up, when in fact their first and primary reason for potentially existing actually has nothing to do with why the ecosystem was brought into effect. In Australia, this has been rampant. Power Ledger, Blockgrain, all of these projects, though, for example, Power Ledger may have a fundamentally sound idea in terms of the idea of getting electricity and being able to share it with your neighbors and obviously, you know, getting some power as a human being back from large electricity companies, they're actually just taking us all for a ride. Well, they're not taking me for a ride because I know better. But they're probably taking you out there, and you need to be aware of that. And to make matters worse, our friends here at Tron Foundation, who own, obviously, TRX as a token, which is like Ether to Ethereum, have bought BitTorrent, and now are going to build another token for BitTorrent. As it says here, this is a token on a token on a token. There is fundamentally no reason for it if you have your fucking Tron platform. This is ridiculous and it needs to stop. As you can tell, I'm very passionate about people being ripped off, because this is exactly what it is. These fancy CEOs and their lovely managing directors are all taking you for a ride. Utility tokens have very, very little use case. Some of them may survive. Some of them, obviously, are working within their ecosystem. But keep in mind, majority of these white papers aren't written by somebody that knows game theory, computer science, and mechanism design, economics. They're written by some Joe Blow, possibly from Fiverr, looking to raise money. The fact of the matter is, majority will fail. So if you're deep, and I mean deep, invested in utility tokens, which actually you're using for secondary market speculation, get the fuck out. Get out now. It is going to be bad news for you when that project runs out of money and that project fails and disappears. There is no legal recourse. There is nothing to it but to get out. Think of proof of keys. Get your keys back, take those tokens, exchange it for something else, and thank me later. Catch you later.